Okay, story time. A few weeks ago, we drove up north to my brother's in-laws cabin to have a wonderful weekend in the fall foliage. We arrived just as the sun was setting. It was a perfect golden hour in full swing, and I couldn't wait another second to throw the drone up in the air. So I get the drone out, I get it all turned on, connected to my phone, and then I noticed that my phone battery is low. It's at like 5%. Because when I plugged in the controller to the phone, my charging icon came on and the charging ding made the sound. So I thought we were charging, thought we were good to go. You can tell where this is going. So I throw up the drone, catch some beautiful sunset footage, which I'll show you here. Then my phone screen goes black. It turns out the controller only charges your phone while you're not flying, because when you're flying, it switches modes and it doesn't charge. I found out later that there's a setting in the menus to change to charge while flying. My bad. So my phone screen is black, but I look up in the sky and I can see the drone over the lake. And I can see it trying to return to home, like they do. These DJI drones are pretty good at that. Except I can see it keeps going and flies straight into the top of a 50-foot tree. So I immediately start running after it, looking for it. Of course, I'm never going to find it in these trees. Obviously, I told you it's sunset, so now it's already getting dark. And there's no way I'm going to find it. Except that this whole time that I was running, the controller in my hand is actually now charging my phone because we're no longer flying the drone anymore. So it switched back to charging mode. My phone turns back on. It reconnects to the DJI app, reconnects to the drone. I'm seeing the camera. I'm connected. So I say, okay, let me go through the settings real quick and find the emergency flashing and beeping. So I turn on flashing and beeping. I can hear it beeping. So I'm looking through the trees and then I see it flashing. And I'm like, okay, there it is. Except it's already dark at this point and there was no amount of shaking the tree that was going to get this drone to fall out. So I had to leave empty-handed. And the next day on the way home, I looked out the window as we drove through the fall foliage and looked at the top of these trees and wondered how many of these trees just have drones stuck in the top of them. However, my brother invites me to the cabin one more time to help close up for the winter. And I think maybe, just maybe, the drone fell out of the tree. Maybe it's on the ground somewhere nearby. Maybe I'll be able to sift through the leaves and find it. And believe it or not, that is exactly what happened. I picked up the drone off the ground. Everything looked intact, but after drying it off and giving it a charge to make sure that everything electronic was working, I noticed that the Fright Run arm was completely cracked. I thought for a second that I might be able to just super glue it or duct tape it or something simple to get it reconnected, but I quickly realized that that was not in the cards. So I immediately went online and looked to see if they sell these replacement arms. Of course they do, and they're not even that bad. They're like $25, the one I got. I figured definitely worth giving it a shot, open it up and try to replace it myself. So of course then I started looking through repair videos and I knew I had my work cut out for me. But I still thought it was worth it, so I got to work. As I got to taking the drone apart, I followed along with a few tutorials just to make sure I was doing everything right. Specifically, the clips are a big pain. The next obstacle is to be sure not to get blue goo everywhere like I did, because that's thermal paste for the heatsink and you're definitely gonna need that. And finally, the soldering. I was definitely using the wrong tool for the job here. My soldering iron has a huge tip on it for no reason other than that's what it came with. I should have ran out to the store and got a smaller soldering tip immediately as soon as I started struggling, but I didn't. I was probably the most frustrated I've ever been in my entire life. I thought I could use the solder points that were already on the board, just reheat it and put the new wires in, but that was not in the cards. When I tried that, the white and black solder joints tried to bridge together because they're so small and they're so close together, and the tip I was using was too big, so it just wasn't gonna happen. When I tried to turn it on, I thought maybe it would work, but it gave me the error code 30210, which is not good. I thought that maybe I had fried the board and that this thing was never gonna fly ever again. I thought maybe not only was I the idiot who crashed the drone, but found it just to break it again, trying to fix it. However, I took a deep breath and took a break. That's right. For the next 30 minutes, I watched some TV and tried to think about anything except fixing the drone and being so frustrated that I couldn't function, so that I could come back to it with steady hands. I decided to calmly remove the existing solder, reflux the joints, and add new solder, like you're supposed to. The result was 3 perfect little solder bubbles with no bridging, despite my solder tip being too big for the job. Once I put the battery back in and turned the drone on, I saw that the power error was gone. So I started to celebrate a little bit, but not without a test flight. Finally, all the motors started up and the drone lifted off, hovering in place like it should. So I just wanted to share this story in hopes that others may find their drones and fix them too. I'm happy to say it's not impossible. I thought there was no chance of ever recovering this drone, never mind fixing it, but I'm happy to say it's not impossible. So thank you for watching and be sure to look out for some drone footage in the next few videos. Peace.